Hi, it's Gracie with Small Worlds Big Adventures, building community through gaming. And today I am going to talk to you about setting up and playing Forbidden Island. One of the first things you'll do is select the difficulty on the water's rise meter, like I'm doing here. I definitely suggest starting with novice. It gets pretty hard pretty quick. Then you're going to shuffle the island deck. Each of these cards has a matching island square, and it will determine what parts of the island sink first. So definitely mix it up well. Then we're going to mix the actual island pieces. Once you mix them up, I suggest pulling from the bottom so that you don't know which piece is coming up next. And as you're pulling them from the bottom deck, you're going to start by putting it in a 4x4 square with the most colorful side up. Once you have your 4x4 square, you're going to take two island pieces and put it on the center columns or rows of each side. So you'll have two additional ones on the bottom, on the right, on the left, and on the top. Once you have set up your island, you are going to shuffle your treasure deck and set it off to the side. And then you're going to get the treasure icons and you're going to put them in each corner of the island. It does not matter which corner you put each in, they are just out there waiting to be collected by your adventurers during the game. Then you're going to give each player a random roll card. Each of these roll cards have a unique feature that only that player can do. Once each player has their roll, they're also going to get an additional two treasure cards handed out randomly and played face up in front of them. They're played face up because this is a really cooperative game and seeing what everyone has is really important. To start off with, you're going to see which tiles of the island are sinking. And you do that by flipping over a card from the island deck and then flipping over the corresponding island piece. And you'll do this a total of 6 times. So 6 pieces of the island are already sinking when the game starts. In this game, you are adventurers seeking treasures on an ever-sinking island. And your goal is to collect all 4 treasures, get to Fool's Landing with a helicopter lift card before the island sinks. Each player has their character start on a specific tile that has a little diagram that matches their meeple. And on their turn, they can take up to 3 actions. One of the actions you can take is moving. Each tile you move is a separate action. Another action you can take is shoring up land, which slows the island from sinking. And a piece of island that is this bluish color needs shored up, or else the next time that card comes up, it will disappear. So to shore up land, you just have to be on that piece and flip it over, or you can shore up one of the adjacent pieces to the left, right, top, or bottom. Again, each piece of island that you shore up is a separate action. You can give a card to another player as an action as well. You just have to be on the same island tile that they are. And then you take one of your cards and give it to that player. Again, each card you give is a separate action. And lastly, you can go to a island tile that has the treasure that you have 4 matching cards of, and turn them in to get that treasure. Again, you could do this up to 3 times. More likely, you'll only have enough cards to do it once on that turn. As we mentioned, each character has a special ability. And so we're going to walk you through the different things that each character could do on their turn as well, either as part of their actions or as a special separate thing. The Explorer card allows the player to shore up land, not just on or adjacent, but diagonally as well. The pilot can, once per turn, fly to any island tile on the board, which makes movement a lot easier. The engineer can shore up 2 tiles for 1 action. Again, these tiles need to be either the one he is on or adjacent to, not diagonally. The diver can swim through 2 or more adjacent flooded tiles for 1 action. That means if parts of your island are missing, the diver can go straight through them rather than find a way around. The messenger can give treasure cards to a player anywhere on the island for an action, which again makes the whole mission easier. The navigator can move another player up to 2 adjacent tiles for 1 action, which helps the movement of the team overall. Once they've completed their actions, the player whose turn it is gets to draw 2 cards from the treasure deck. Now, most of these will just be treasure cards. However, they can draw a few special cards. One of the special cards that they can draw is the helicopter lift card. This allows whoever plays the card to move 1 or more of the meeples from an island tile where they are currently at to any other tile on the board. Another special card that they can draw is sandbags. What's great about sandbags is that a player can play this and shore up any one tile on the island, even if they're not on it or adjacent to it. The last type of card that they can draw is a Waters Rise card. And unfortunately, this makes the game harder. Once you've drawn a Waters Rise card, the first thing that happens is the water level increases by 1. Then you will take all the cards in the current pile that have been flipped over and shuffle them and put them back on top of the deck. The purpose of this is that the parts of the island that have already started to sink are sinking quicker. The last thing a player does on their turn is draw island cards equal to the number on the water meter. When they flip a card over, they flip the corresponding island tile over to show that it's sinking. If they were to flip a card that was already flipped over, this card and this card are taken out of the game. Thus, that part of the island has sunk completely. If a player is on a piece of land that has gotten drawn to sink completely, when it is removed, they are now underwater. This is fine, but the player then has to move to an adjacent left, right, top or bottom tile, like so. To win the game, all players need to make it to Fool's Landing with a helicopter lift card and all 4 treasures. While there's one way to win the game, there are 4 ways to lose the game. The first one being if both island tiles with a specific treasure icon on them sink completely, meaning their tiles are removed from the game. and you have not gotten that treasure yet, then you have lost the game. If Fool's Landing sinks completely, meaning its tile has been removed from the game, you have also lost. If a player is on a tile and its card sinks completely and they are not able to move to an adjacent tile, except for the diver, then they have drowned and you have lost the game again. Finally, if the water level reaches the skull and crossbones, you have also lost the game. This game is meant to be a highly cooperative game. And so as you and your players are playing, we encourage you guys to talk about your turns and decide as a team what might make the most sense. Having said all that, if you're an experienced player and you're onboarding other new players to this game, we know how complicated that can be. What information do you give them? What stuff do you share later? And so we have taken the guesswork out of that and created a quick play instruction sheet that you can use at your game table to quickly onboard new players to this game. You can find it on our website, which is linked below. It is a free download, just meant to help you all. And if you liked this walkthrough, found it helpful, or you want to see more walkthroughs of other games, why don't you go ahead and hit the like button. You can subscribe and hear more reviews and gameplay from us. And if you really want to see every video as it gets posted, go ahead and hit that notification bar. Until next time, I'm excited to hear what you think of this game down in the comments. See you then.